All right, let's dive in. Your deep dive today, Greek heroes. And wow, the source material you found, fascinating. It's like someone was putting together a family tree, but for legends,
A family tree of legends. Yeah, I like that.
highlighting like all the best stories. We're talking gods, monsters, quests, you name it.
The whole shebang.
But we're zeroing in on one guy in particular, Perseus.
Oh, good one.
You know, when I first started going through this, it was like opening a book right in the middle of the action.
Oh, how so?
Well, it starts right after this huge flood, the flood of Deucalion.
Ah, right after the world gets totally reshaped.
Talk about a dramatic opening. Makes you wonder, like, what epic tales came before, you know?
It really does. It's like stepping into a world already in motion. And out of all that upheaval come these new heroes, the ones born from, gods and mortals.
With Zeus as, like, a key player, of course.
Naturally. I mean, is it even a Greek myth without Zeus mixing things up a little bit?
Right. And one of those key stories is about Danaë, Perseus's mother. And her own father, King Acrisius, he gets this prophecy.
Which, let's be honest, always equals drama in Greek mythology.
Always. And this prophecy says that Acrisius will be overthrown by his own grandson.
Oh boy, here we go. The overprotective dad of the century.
Seriously. So Acrisius, he tries to cheat fate, locks Danaë away. But, well, Zeus.
Yeah, you can't exactly stop Zeus. There's that classic theme, you can't escape destiny, that the Greeks loved.
Oh, they loved it.
Like they were saying, you can try to outrun fate, but it will always catch up.
It's a powerful concept.
It really is. It makes you think about how they viewed free will versus destiny.
Makes you think about it even today, right?
Absolutely.
And talk about an entrance. Zeus, he finds his way to Danaë. And let's just say, the guy was creative.
Oh, we know Zeus.
So naturally, Danaë, she gives birth to our hero, Perseus, but their troubles,
So.
nowhere near over. It seems Acrisius, he finds out about his grandson. And well, let's just say he is not happy.
Oh.
And Danaë and baby Perseus, they end up adrift at sea.
And that's where things get really interesting. They're rescued by this fisherman, Dictys.
Okay.
But Dictys, he's got a brother, Polydictys. And Polydictys, well, he's got his own plans for Danaë.
Oh, boy.
So Perseus, being, a protective son, he's not exactly thrilled about this situation.
All right, can you blame him? Classic protective son move. But talk about bad timing. I mean, that puts Perseus right in Polydectes' path.
And Polydectes, he sees an opportunity here. Let's just say he's resourceful.
Uh-oh. This can't be good.
So he announces he needs this gift, a very special gift,
What kind of gift?
the head of Medusa.
Whoa. Okay, we have to talk about Medusa. This is where I was like on the edge of my seat. Can you imagine being Perseus, knowing if you even look at this woman, you're a goner?
Talk about a suicide mission. Right. But this is what I find so interesting. Even though your source material, it's like condensed, it really highlights how Perseus, he succeeds because of the help he gets. It's not just about, being strong or whatever.
It's about who you know, right?
Yeah. It's about strategy, knowing who to ask, knowing how to use what you've got.
And man, does he need some serious help. Remember those gray sisters?
Oh, yeah, the creepy sisters.
The ones who share an eye and a tooth. Talk about nightmare fuel.
Seriously. I mean, your source material, it doesn't really go into detail, but even the way it's phrased, it's like Perseus just casually tricked these terrifying creatures.
Right, like it was nothing.
Like it's a Tuesday afternoon.
But he holds their eye hostage. Talk about guts.
Oh, I know it.
And that's how he finds out where to go.
Yeah.
Forces them to tell him about the nymphs of the north.
Which is key, because the nymphs, they give Perseus some awesome gear.
This is the good stuff.
Right. Wing sandals. So he can fly.
Okay, handy.
A magic pouch to hold Medusa's head, which...
Important. Very important.
And my personal favorite, the helmet of invisibility.
Oh, classic. And we can't forget about the shield.
Oh, right.
The reflective shield, gift from Athena. Which, let's be honest, that shield is the real MVP of that whole Medusa showdown.
Oh, for sure.
He uses his brain, the gifts, and boom, takes down Medusa. It's kind of funny the way your source material just casually mentions this, considering how terrifying this woman was supposed to be. It's like, oh yeah, Perseus totally outsmarted a Gorgon. Tuesday.
No big deal. Just another day for Perseus.
And the crazy thing is, his adventures, they don't stop there. He's got the head, right, mission accomplished. But it's like the way back home is just, a victory lap of heroic feats.
Of course. Got to make the most of the trip, right?
Right. It's like the source material just casually mentions, oh yeah, and then he fought a sea monster, saved a princess. Like, no big deal. Just another Tuesday for Perseus.
just casually adding to the resume. But yeah, those little side quests, they were everywhere in Greek mythology.
Yeah.
They weren't just there to make the hero look even cooler, though.
There's got to be more to it than that.
Right. They often gave those, like, origin stories for places, for creatures, for all these things everyone just kind of knew.
It makes you think, though, like, what would those stories be like? Fleshed out, you know? Imagine a whole epic just about Perseus and the sea monster with all the details.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And don't forget, amidst all this, he's still, accidentally turning people to stone with the head.
Oh, right.
It's almost like an afterthought in the source material. But it does make you think about the consequences, right, of all this action, even for a hero.
Especially for a hero.
Yeah, they weren't perfect, those choices.
Right.
They had, repercussions, which kind of brings us to the prophecy about Perseus' grandfather, Acrisius, the whole reason this all started.
Right, because Perseus, even though he tries to avoid it, what happens? He accidentally kills Acrisius with a discus.
Talk about irony.
Right, and you can't escape fate.
Nope. Huge theme in Greek tragedy.
Yeah.
Struggling against destiny. But this is where your source material gets interesting. Because it doesn't end with Perseus's, death or anything. It doesn't even really focus on that tragedy.
It doesn't.
No. It focuses on his legacy. Founding cities, lineages. There's even this possible connection to Persia.
Whoa, that's pretty major. So it's more than just entertainment, these myths. They were tied to how the ancient Greeks saw themselves, their history, their identity. It's like these stories, they weren't just something they read, they were woven into everything.
Exactly. Which, for me, is what makes them so fascinating.
It really makes you think.
It does. And your source material, it's like a direct line to that.
Yeah.
To how someone else saw these ancient myths, what they thought was important, those connections they chose to make.
It's amazing, isn't it? The power of these stories, how they can still make us think all these years later. And on that note, we'll leave you with that thought. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.